What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are going to have an amazing day today. Starting with episode 6, Behind the Line. Today, we actually have a buddy of mine, a great friend of mine. We actually became very close in the last few years from the industry, Antwan Morrow.
You got it right.
Yeah, see?
Morrow.
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, brother, is I've seen you compete, I think about 4 times now. 3 to 4 times.
Think about 4.
Four. Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't obviously see you compete in the last one where you got your pro card. The biggest reason why I wanted to bring you on was because you were competing before the weight class, and I just didn't really see the judges or those who made the decisions truly, let's say, not just guide you, but judge you based off the class from which you were competing. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So before we get into all that, you know what I mean? Because I haven't really dived too much in. And there's other personal things that I want to ask you too. You know, you've maintained a relationship, obviously. You're married, right? Those weren't the easiest times, especially through competing. And I don't think, and your wife's a competitor too. And I don't think a lot of people realize when they go through or are a competitor or they're that type of athlete, it's very difficult. 1, maintaining your own sanity. 2, try to maintain the sanity of a relationship, you know? And I know there were some opportunities where you and I have deep dived and talked about things like that. And just want to get some insight from you a little bit later about how you kept that going. Because there is leadership there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There is leadership there.
Absolutely.
And if you don't see that, then it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to understand how you two did it, you know? But first and foremost, man, tell me a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you're a competitor. You're a pro.
Clearly.
Right? Clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, when I
I'm a
first
pro
saw
now,
you,
yeah.
when I first saw you, man, I thought you were like an athlete, like somebody who ran sprints or played football or somebody that was extremely athletic. Not saying that you're not athletic, and I've seen videos of you. I'm sure you are. You very much are. But I don't. I was very. I would have said that I would have been like, that dude should compete. Versus, oh, that's a competitor kind of thing.
Yeah,
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how it all started really with me. Because the guy named Brian Martinez, he worked at Self-Made Training Facility. And I went to go work there when I came here to San Diego. And I'm just kind of like jumping ahead. But when I came into the gym, it was like a couple times. And then he looked at me and said, "Hey, do you compete?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Do you want to compete?" I was like, I guess. He was like, "I'll tell you what, I'll coach you for free." I said, "Say less." And then he pitched me. He was just like, I was trying to do my YouTube thing at the time, and he was just like, "Well, it will help you in that lanes of creating your channel and branding yourself in the fitness industry." So I said, "Yeah, why not?" I didn't know nothing about bodybuilding. I didn't even know like San Diego was like a mecca for bodybuilding. I had no idea who any of like the competitors were. I didn't know about the man's physique division. I only knew about Arnold, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, just the really prime guys, like not even like the other OGs that people really idolize, like Flex Wheeler and like all these other dudes, like Charles Glass. Like I didn't know about any of those dudes, nothing. I had no idea. I just knew about training and being an athlete, like you said.
Were you an athlete in something prior to?
Yeah. So I played sports all the way up through high school. Even when I joined the Air Force, I was always like the leader when it came to like PT. I led the PT sessions. I was the top of my class when I went to go basic training. I had a lot of PJs who are pararescue and PJs and spec ops in my, I guess you could say,
training regiment
group. And pretty much our group was like the fitness group because we had a lot of different groups, right? every MTI had their own group of people that they handled. And my group had all these guys in it for some odd reason. They put us all together. But, well, not me, because I was just the IT guy at the time. Actually, you know what? My job was telephone pole specialist. Before it got
into IT.
Yeah, they moved it out. They got rid of it. So they got rid of the career field while I was in basic training. And as I was coming down from training on this pole, they come down was like, hey, your AFSC has now been removed from the Air Force. So now you have to pick a different job.
Oh, shit.
So then I had to select 3 different types of jobs, which one was in tech, because I was like, well, you know, I plan on getting out anyways. I planned on getting out as soon as I started. My whole point was to be able to serve, deploy, serve my country, and then also get money towards college.
Benefits.
Right? Benefits. I chose tech, I chose medical, and then I chose firefighter. I really wanted firefighter. That's what I really wanted.
Really?
I've always wanted to be a firefighter ever since I was a kid.
No, sure.
Always. Not too many people know about that, but I guess a lot of people know about that now.
Why didn't you pursue it after?
It just wasn't the primary goal anymore. The goal kind of changed. But I mean, I guess going into like my whole sports and fitness career is like once I joined the Air Force, and then, you know, obviously I was a part of that group of people during basic training. I used to run a 9:28 for a mile and a half.
Wow. With gear?
And I've never been a runner, no. Without gear for sure.
But in boots?
No, just regular shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, regular shoes. 9:28 mile and a half.
That's good.
So it's about like a 6-minute mile.
A 6-minute mile, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I used to run. But anyways, from there I joined the Air Force, and then I started getting into training, because every single squadron that I was assigned to always was with pilots and navigators or special ops. My last station when I was in England for 3 years was with special ops. And those guys pretty much just do the mission. They're not the paper pushers, so they're not worried about anything other than the mission. So it's a pretty sweet gig, because then you don't have anybody micromanaging or over your shoulder dealing with the other bullshit that a lot of people deal with when they're in the military. And I'm sure somebody in this room can attest to that. But, you know, apart from that, it was just like I kept being around all these fit people. And then I got into CrossFit. I did CrossFit for about 2 years. And this is before I got into weight training. So I did CrossFit, and that's probably the reason why I look the way I look today, is because I did all these other things. Like I used to be, I used to compete at state for track and field when I was in high school. Wow. 100, did triple jump. I did hurdles. I played football, every single position you could possibly think of: quarterback, running back, kick return. I played kicker too as well.
Oh my God.
Freshman year, because they didn't have anybody. And it's crazy because I actually had the ability to probably be a college level, even a pro level kicker.
Wow.
Because I had the accuracy. Literally every single time I would kick, let's say this is the goalpost, right? I would kick the ball. I would purposely kick it through the goalpost, and I would make them have a touchback, so they'd be at the 20. So I would do it every single time, and the announcer would be like, "Here comes Antwan Morrow, the NCAA kicker." Oh, wow. Right? But it was funny because I was also on kick return, and then I was the running back. I was everything. But somehow, some way, I was gifted to be able to kick really good and really far. But I gave that up because being a kicker is lame, right? You don't want to be a kicker, so I totally gave up the kicker thing. But anyways, so fast forward to the Air Force. When I went to England, I'll just skip forward to England because I had 2 other bases before that. I was stationed in Mississippi for tech school, and then I was stationed in Panama City, Florida before the hurricane. This is when it was the #1 spring break spot in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And I was only
pretty young.
I was 20 years old.
Oh my God, dude. They put you in the wrong place. They put you in the wrong place.
Let me tell you, but honestly, it's probably a gift. It was a gift that I was supposed to be there, because if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't be the humble, well-focused husband that I am today.
Oh, you got it out of your system, really.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I got it out of my system.
Well, no, I think you probably.
But even guys my age are still in the club in the corners.
Well, I think more than anything, though, I mean, when you're out in that type of environment,
yeah.
you know, Panama City, you're talking about like every day you're waking up.
It's
a party.
It's there.
It's there, you know,
it's
all
pretty,
year
it's pretty
round.
dead during the off season when it's not spring break, but when it's spring break.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You can get everything done in that.
Every day, Monday through Sunday, every single day.
It's pretty bad. And you're also, again, when you're in the military that young, you have a roof over your head. You're getting a consistent paycheck.
Yeah.
You're not spending your money.
Yeah.
You know, you're either saving it or you're blowing it out, you know, meeting girls, meeting women, you know, going to the bars and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a big lesson learned right there.
But sidetracked, so to the fitness. So when I got to England, which was my duty station after Panama City, I was stationed there for 3 years. I was on the practice squad for the USA track team.
Oh, no shit.
And then I played semi-pro football, but I only played 2 games. So I got on the team in the middle of the season. They didn't know where to put me, but they could put me everywhere, right? Because I told you I played all the positions. So they put me at quarterback, but then the British quarterbacks and the guys that wanted to play quarterback were really mad because they were just like, you can't just bring this American on.
Right.
What the fuck? Right? That's what they were pissed off. So they were just like, you can't bring this American dude in here, middle of the season, just let him just start in front of us. Like, we've been trying, we've been playing, da, 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 da. I didn't really prove myself. I hadn't even played a game yet. It was just practice, right? So they're like, all right, well, we're going to give you some time, let you do kick return first, and then we'll start getting you into other positions so that way the boys don't get too riled up. And I said, okay, that's fine. So my first kick return, I ran it back. Touchdown, 80 yards. Second one, I ran and then I hurdled this guy, right? So I hurdled this guy and my legs like this in the back, this leg's up here in the front. And I'm running so fast, the guy, he falls on his back as he's trying to tackle me and he grabs my ankle.
Oh.
My body's going this way, but my ankle's staying put. Yeah. And I had a hairline fracture through my foot, and that was
through your foot, not through your ankle.
Through my foot. Yeah. Hairline fracture through the foot.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Because if it was the ankle,
it would have been bad. It would have really bad. But other than that, you know, from there, I got out the Air Force, and then I moved to San Diego. And then from there, like, I really wanted to pursue. I wanted to be a walk-on at San Diego State. So that's what I wanted to do at the time. I wasn't too sure if I was too old or not. I was 26 at the time, I think, when I got out. So I was just like, you know, I was going to play at ASU because I was in Arizona for my last duty station for like a year and a half. But my buddies lived here. And then, you know, I kind of came and visited.
Yeah, and got addicted.
Got addicted. It's real easy.
Now we're paying the most expensive.
Right.
And now we're stuck.
And then we're stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck.
But, you know, I was like, well, I can do the same thing at State. And San Diego State is an amazing college.
Great school.
And I was like, well, I can do the same thing at State. But funny thing is that I didn't even end up going to State because originally when I applied for State, a lot of my college credits didn't apply. And I didn't want to waste that much time. I would have lost like a year and a half of school that I've already done. And I was just like, man, I don't want to waste that much time, right? So I was just like, well, let me just go to National University. Let me take some of these other classes, expedite it, get the credits that I need to be able to apply to San Diego State because I have an special entry date for veterans where you don't have to compete against other people. And I was then going to enter that entry date. But when I started going to National University, I also started pursuing my own fitness business, being a personal trainer. So I got certified through American Council of Exercise, ACE, and I started to do, I wanted to do personal training, but I wanted to do it online. So I started to do YouTube videos. I did my intro video, and I went to the library at National University, and I remember I had just met with my videographer that I did the video with, and as I was leaving, this guy named Miguel Aguilar called me. He's the CEO of Self-Made Training Facility. He didn't call me, but he messaged me on Instagram, asked me if he can give me a call. I said, sure. He gave me a call. He said, hey, man, you look like you would be a great fit to be a trainer at one of my gyms, blase, blase, blase. You can make this much amount of money. Sold me the dream. I was like, sign me up. Where is the gym at? So I went to the gym. I signed up as an independent contractor because that's what they are, a self-made. And I started training there. And then once I started training there, I met this guy named Brian Martinez, which I told you earlier. And he asked me, he said, hey, man, have you ever bodybuilded before? I said, no. He was just like, would you be interested? I think you would do really well. I said, I mean, not really. I'm not really into bodybuilding. And he was like, well, I'll tell you what, if you do it, it will definitely help you make a name for yourself in the fitness industry. And we talked for a little bit, and he sold me on it. He said, I'll coach you for free. Sure. Free?
Yeah, of course, free.
Free is my middle name. So I said, sure. And then from there, I mean, it's pretty much just been up, man.
Can you, quick question, fast forward towards the fact that you are a pro now. Would you say that establishing your pro card has helped your business?
No.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Why? Man.
No, I mean not to, because I really think that
Not to downgrade the pro card.
No, but I'm not taking that away. But what I'm saying is that what I believe that a lot of people who are in industry, and we did an episode on this, how a lot of competitors become personal trainers versus trainers becoming competitors. There's a big difference there. You know what I mean? And it's crazy to me to see that a lot of people are so focused on, let's say, the team aspect of things or the ability to receive a pro card, thinking that, you know, it's going to up my social score in a way that's just it's exponentially going to equate to some sort of dollar sign.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It really is. At the end of the day, you know, if we're really going to talk about how to gain popularity in the fitness industry, is A, be unique, B, have an incredible physique, C, have some type of characteristic, whether it's charisma, ability to edit really well.
Yeah.
And I would say D, be marketable. Like if you're not, it doesn't matter if you're a pro or not. Like if you're not marketable, none of that shit really matters. Because at the end of the day, it's the value that you bring towards these companies.
Oh, of course.
Or it's the value that you bring towards other people. So if you're not entertaining or educating, you're not going to get anywhere. But everybody in the fitness industry is like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm him. No, you're not. You're not him until somebody else says that you are him. So you have to humbly position yourself into a position to where, what can I provide to the people that I want to gain attention of? Whether if it's an audience or it's a company. If you want to work with a company, you need to bring value. I've been doing sponsorships since year one, right? My first sponsorship was one of the biggest athletic apparel companies in the industry, ASRV.
Oh, wow.
That was my first sign-on, right? Now I'm with the Iron World.
Right.
And they're a smaller company, but they're definitely growing and they definitely have a good pace. And I joined the company simply just because I saw the vision. But anyways, nevertheless, it's just like, you know, when people try to bank on the pro card, it's just like.
Well, I think they've lost the sight. A lot of competitors have lost the sight as to why they're doing the competition. Passion, exactly.
That's the only reason why I even got it. Yeah, was just because honestly, it was passion and ego. Yeah. It was just like fuck that.
This sport requires ego.
If this person can get it, I know I can. Because I know that I'm better than them.
Yeah,
respectfully.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know? Well, this sport does require ego. If you do not have an ego,
you have to be a little bit cocky.
Yeah, you have to be.
But the cocky comes from work ethic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not really cocky if you work for it. It's cocky if you dismantle others.
Well, I think like perfect example is there's a big difference between somebody walking into the room and demanding the respect of the room versus somebody walking into the room and commanding the respect of the room.
Alpha and a sigma.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and you know, like obviously nowadays, especially socially, we did an episode on this as well. It's like why is it so important for people to be parts of teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it many times. It's because they are great coaches. Some, you know,
Do
you've
you
been
feel
through
like
so many.
bodybuilding? I'm
No,
interviewing
go
you
ahead.
now. Do you feel like bodybuilding is an individual sport or a team sport?
It's 100% individual to me. 100%. Nobody is waking you up at 6 a.m. to go do your fasted cardio. Dude, nobody's, and I can guarantee you, no coach is texting their athlete, "Wake
Oh
up,
man.
go do your cardio." No, no, no. We're entrusting in you the value from which I expect you to hold, which is wake up, go do your cardio, follow the meal plan, you know, get some rest, do the things that I ask you to do, you know, don't veer from it. Speak to me. I don't know what the hell your body's telling you. I'm not a part of those conversations. You know, if you don't express things to me, don't expect me to look in the mirror that you're seeing.
I'm gonna share something with you. So something with me and my wife. So she's gotten to know who I am. She's gotten to learn my drive. And she's understood to the point to where she is kind of, I don't want to say numb, but she is at the point to where we had this conversation. How can I put this? We had this conversation when I said, baby, why doesn't it surprise you when I'm doing some of these things that I'm doing? Like if I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and then I'm working all day and then I'm training and then I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or I have a full day of filming, but I still train at 9 o'clock at night and I'm still doing my 40 minutes of cardio and I haven't cheated on my diet, not even one crumb, not even no extra sauce, not even nothing, you know, like how come it doesn't surprise you? She said, because that's what you're supposed to do. And she said, that's what I know. And that's what I expect from you. Right. So I feel like in the same sense, because I know you want to get to the partnership thing, is that if your partner, which is a big anchor to your success, especially when you are trying to compete, for example, you know, you need that person to have faith in you.
Absolutely.
And if they don't have faith in you, that means that you don't have faith in you because they don't see it in you. So why should they respect to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself?
Well, society has kind of removed the word faith and converted it to the word hope.
Yeah.
Hope is very...
I hope it works.
Yes, sir. You know, it's 50-50 almost.
Throwing darts in the dark.
Yeah, it's a flip of a coin. It's
Throwing
like gambling,
darts in
right?
the dark. Yep.
Absolutely. Faith, I can control 90 to 95% of my faith on some things,
Right.
you know, and then allow the other 5 to 10% to be up to whatever the hell I believe into, right? I'm not trying to downplay anybody's religious aspects. But I've always believed that if you do not have faith in something that's greater than yourself, then you can't provide grace for yourself. Right. So the faith that your wife has put into you is because she sees the faith that you put into yourself, right? It's all driven through that. She doesn't hope you have it. She doesn't hope that you're going to do it. She knows that you're going to do it, right? That's what she said. And that's one of the hardest things about being a coach, being a personal trainer. You know this more than anything. I've been in this industry for 27 years. You know, the first people that are going to tell you that you're not doing a good job are the people that are hoping the plans that you give them work, hoping that the cardio that they're supposed to do that they don't do is going to work, hoping that if they, you know, eat a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that, it'll still work. It'll still function, right? The way that it's supposed to function. They don't really have the faith in themselves to follow you blindly. And they don't turn around and face the mirror. They turn around and face you.
They just put the faith in the name.
In the
Coach.
name. Coach. Absolutely. Well, that's the thing, though, is like definition, perfect example. I started in this industry in supplementation world. I started in the nutrition industry. Many people think that the word supplementation, or somebody goes into the store and buys a bottle of protein, or a multivitamin, or whatever it may be, that all of a sudden this bottle of protein with 25 grams per serving of protein is their meal. And I look at them like, hold on, do you understand the definition of supplementation is to fill in the blanks from which you are not getting enough?
Supplement.
To supplement, not to be the entire blank. So you don't have a supplement issue. You have a food issue. Right? And it's funny how people take a supplement, which is that small aspect of things, to all of a sudden replace the big aspects of things that they should be doing, right? And when you relevate that to those things, you see it in their training, you see it in their aspects of how the results come.
It's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect. It almost is it's like one characteristic trait in somebody that is something that they do consistently. You see it consistent in everything that they do, right? And that's the great thing, that when your wife tells you that she has that blind faith in you, it's because, I love how you said it, I know that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. No, that's how she told me.
Yeah. Not I hope you're doing it, you know?
And honestly, it's like I never even realized it because I'm on autopilot.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not actually called autopilot. It's technically called flow state. And when you are passionate about something, you enter this thing called flow state because you're so hyper-focused on reaching the goal that everything else apart from that is muffled. You can't hear it, you can't see it, it doesn't exist. And we know how it is when you are in prep too, because it can be a bad thing. Because
You wouldn't stay in it if it was.
Well, the cause and effects.
Yeah.
Right? Relationships, families, and friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The goal is the only thing that matters at that point. But like I said, flow state is like that state that you're in, and you're operating on this frequency that is just so isolated from the rest of the world that the only thing that exists is this straight line path to the end goal, and everything along that path has to get done.
Oh, yeah.
You can't skip or miss a beat. You have to step on each block in order to get there. And that's where I was at during that time, well, through every prep really, but that's where I was at during that time when I asked her that question. And when she told me, was like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what I expect from you. When she told me that, it kind of really gave myself a pat on the back, because you don't really give yourself your own flowers when you do have your 10 toes down and you're really gritting and grinding through
Because
that mud.
you're so much in that state.
Because you're so much in the state that, bro, like you feel like you suck, right? A lot of body dysmorphia, things like that. You don't feel like you're lean enough. You don't think that you did enough reps. You maybe had a gram more of rice, and it's just sitting in the back of your head, and you're just like, man, I got to be better. I got to do better, right? And that every single day that you wake up, you're just like, I got to be better. I got to do better. I got to be better. I got to do better. And it's just a repeating echo in the back of your head. And it's just constantly, it's like an empty room. And you're just trying to find your way out of this room of flow that like is giving you a reward, but it's also giving you I don't want to say grief, but it's like giving you a reward, and it's like also like smacking your hand.
Well, iron sharpens iron
at the same time.
Right. Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So in that state where when you're talking about that, that reward is amazing, but in that state that you're in, where we have those states of where we're second guessing things that we're doing, or overthinking things, we're contemplating like, oh my God, why? We're going through the failures that we need to experience, so that the lessons we learn through those feelings that we're feeling,
you understand.
Not just understand, but we create more confidence through that.
Right.
Confidence is huge, especially in what we do, because you're doing it alone.
That's I. So I got a funny thing about that because we're talking about competing. Is that I've noticed that when people are prepping and they know that they're doing things wrong and they don't have confidence, it shows when they actually go and compete.
Yes.
And the reason why is because they'll sign up for 5 different categories.
Yeah.
And,
It just takes one to knock it out of the park.
Right. And if you're that confident,
that's it.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, even if somebody else shows up and they look better than you, you look your best.
Yeah. Well, this, again, like you had asked me, is this a team thing or is this a self thing? I think it's 100% a self thing.
100%.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not doubting any teams, because there are people out there that are going to hit on that. But, great. By all means, be in a team, be a coach, be great. But at the end of the day, my biggest gripe about teams is the fact that they don't provide. I think coaches kind of select certain people that they believe are like the stallion in the group, you know what I mean? Or the prize horse, Right. This is the prize horse that's always going to win, always going to pay me.
This is
the one.
The Michael Jordan.
Yeah, this is the one that's going to get 90% of my time, and then everybody else is going to get divided up in my tent, Everybody deserves the same value. And that's just my gripe about coaches, unfortunately. I think great coaches are great trainers. I don't think that coaches came out of nowhere, and because to be a great coach, you have to be able to understand too. And you understand this. One of the things about when you got your ACE, right? They talk about the psychology of personal training and coaching, how much time we spend with our clients, how that time eventually creates a rapport where they become so close to you that they start to open up on their life. And now you're not just the person who's helping change their life physically, now you're changing their life mentally. And it's very hard to not cross certain lines when you're in that path.
And I feel like that's the best place to be for somebody to respect you enough to reach the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if they don't respect you, if you don't really have that rapport, there's too much of a gap for them to say, fuck this, I'm eating.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
also, I mean, like if you create the proper rapport and you do provide yourself that opportunity to help them mentally, right? I just remember the first time I took my certs was they always told me to not cross that line and become their counselor. Okay. I found that if I can learn certain things about them that ail them, I'm not trying to heal you. I can't do that. But if I can help you build confidence in other ways that provide ammo to help heal you, then I'm going to do that. But I need to know what I'm providing the ammo for, right? We need to know, like, how much more are we going to put into them to help them break that mental barrier, right? And you do need to break those walls down.
100%.
And that's one of the things that I disagreed when I got my cert was that we take away from that human relationship of passion, right? And treat them like a dollar sign. You know what I'm saying? And then when they become a number, they just become like every other robot in line, right? But if I can isolate each individual differently, then each individual learns more about themselves and grows through that as well.
Yeah. When you said number, first thing that I thought of was like when people do a show and then they become a coach.
Yeah.
And it's like the craziest thing is that like you didn't even coach yourself through your first show.
Right? Exactly.
But at least kudos to you and me for getting our certifications because it's just like, okay, well, you became a coach because you got in shape and you're using a transformation that somebody else helped you get to be able to promote, to get others to do the exact same thing that you did with your coach because you're just giving them your plan anyways, right? But, I think that it's very important for you to go through the process and processes of education of both mental and physical, right? because it helps you be able to articulate things to your clientele and understand what they're going through and what you need to provide to them because you've been through it, you've studied it, and you've been good at it, right? But if you are also a coach and you've been shit at it, it's just like, how are you going to tell somebody else how to be good at it, but you were shit at it,
Right.
you know? And it just bothers me so much, bro, because I see so many coaches out there that can't even coach themselves. I'm like, you can't even follow a diet yourself, but you are trying to tell somebody that they need to follow their diet to the T, right? But if you want to be a lenient coach, be a lenient coach. Don't be a hard coach, a bodybuilder coach, or somebody who's like, really trying to get somebody looking
A certain way.
Yeah. But you're not actually doing it yourself in that same manner. But nevertheless.
Well, no, I mean, like, again, a lot of people don't realize, and I say this a lot, is our job isn't to fix them in the hour they see us.
No.
Our job is to fix the other 23 when they're not with us.
Exactly. And I tell people this all the time. I'm like, well, I just want to let you know the reason why I'm telling you this is because one day you're not going to be with me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I care about your progress so much that I want you to understand the reason why we're doing this. And I'm going to take the time to be able to explain it to you because I do a lot of explaining when I talk to my clients, especially when they ask me questions. And I notice that they're very curious on the reason why, or maybe they just don't get it. So I'd rather just, instead of just telling them, just do this because of this. And this is why we're doing this.
Right.
Or whenever they do have questions, I answer it. Because I know coaches, if you ask them a question, they literally won't even text you back.
Yeah.
So it's just like, are you really a coach or are you just a person that's just trying to give them a guide and wash your hands after it's done?
Well, I mean, I think part of our experiences in educating ourselves is because we've been through people that we were speaking about.
Right.
And it's not that it's a bad thing. Again, it's because there are worlds where that works for some people.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And there are worlds where it just doesn't work. And a lot of it, too, is because when we look at people's lives and we say to them, hey, man, I know for the hour when you come, you're going to be the most, you're going to have passion, you're going to have drive, you're going to give me that 110% that I ask of you. I want to see that in the other 23 when you're not. That's the reality of the fact.
Right. Right.
And it's not that we need to be more involved in their lives, but we need to be more involved in the things that, let's say, stop them from doing what they need to do in the 23 that
their accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, when I was at my busiest personal training, I used to have people send me their food when they were eating. Right. When they ate, take a picture, boom, send me food. But the problem was, I had 22 clients at the time, and I'm getting a text message so much. I was like, oh my God, it was just ridiculous. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see where their gaps in food were through the day. It helped me understand their eating habits, one. Number two, it made it easier to create a meal plan that best served them because of their other responsibilities in life. Not everybody is like you and I, where, when we become that flow state and ultra focused, we learn how to balance the responsibilities.
You're going to get it done by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, and that's a very difficult thing to do. Some people just don't want to do that. So as a good coach and as
some
a good
people don't like
trainer,
conflict because sometimes that by you doing it by any means necessary means that you probably will face conflict at some point in time. That's going to come in front of you from doing what you need to do.
Well, many times, that conflict comes from you having to decide to choose to do things for you versus things for others, right? And that does include your partner as well. Absolutely. And again, having a partner who, even though she is a competitor, she's still a woman of emotion as well. And you can't take that away from her, right? No matter what. right? She may understand. She knows what you're feeling. She knows everything that you're going through. She probably help make your meals. She probably helped wake you up. She probably helped drive you. But she's still going to be that emotional woman and partner that's going to tell you straight up.
I need.
Yeah. Yeah, I need. Absolutely. Right?
I don't care what you're doing right now. I need.
Yeah, absolutely. And because, I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but women are great at telling you what they feel, right? Versus what they think. Men tell you what they think because we're very logical. So then when we hear something from anybody many times, but basically our partners most especially, telling us how they feel, but we perceive it as to how they think. So then therefore we give them the answer logically to what they're feeling and not what they're thinking. That men are from Mars and women are from Venus thing, right? And so you have gotten to a state in your relationship, and I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure it wasn't easy, man. I'm sure it was because she's also was a student, right? She's still a student?
She's still a student.
Still a student. And she's going through her nursing program, correct? And that's not easy. No. The amount of studying that woman is doing right now is ridiculous. Probably she's spending the next, year on drugs, probably.
Yeah, and not even just for her to pass her nursing program. She has to do good enough to be able to get accepted to her doctorates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's trying to become a doctor.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's the plan.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. Mm-hmm. So, and the great thing, too, though, is also she's probably seen you accomplish things that you need to accomplish. Mm-hmm. Having a relationship, having a partnership, right? Because a relationship's one thing, having a partnership's another thing. Mm-hmm. Two different things, right? But when you have them both, it's almost that sense of perfection that you're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. But she has probably grown more through seeing you at the top of the mountain fall, climb back to the top of the mountain, fall, climb back to the top of the mountain and fall. She's learned from those opportunities.
Absolutely.
Because she still sees you being responsible, being a husband, right? Taking care of the things that a man should so-called take care of, right?
She's getting first-person view.
Absolutely.
Of the whole process.
Yeah.
The whole experience.
And that's not easy, man.
No.
That's not easy. No. It's not easy for you either.
She's taking a lot of the hit.
Oh, yeah.
She's
the first person there. And the only person there. She has to dissect the difference between you in prep brain and you in husband brain, right? Just like you have to do the same for her, right? I'm sure there's many times when you're like, man, is it that time? Because you're a little spicy today. No, I'm just frustrated with work or studying or whatever it may be, right? And that's just the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. And it's not easy. I've seen more relationships go to shit during prep than people strive to become better. Yeah.
It's tough.
I've seen people, marriages fall apart. I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? This is like that time when you two should be like, we got a goal, let's go. It's your goal, but I'm going to be there for you. You know what I mean? Because it can flip-flop. It may not be the same aspect of a goal, but you still have a goal, hon. Right? You still have that goal that you want to accomplish. I'll be there for you just like you are for me.
Right.
And it's just the weirdest thing for me. And is it because competing is that selfish thing?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's like you're in that flow state. So it's kind of like you don't see anything outside of that tunnel. So your wife included, or a spouse, or a girlfriend, or whoever it is, that person kind of gets neglected. And with women, they need attention, no matter if it's necessary or not. For men, we're okay. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, cool. I'll be all right for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? But for women, no.
No.
At first, in the beginning, it's easy.
Yeah.
But after that, it's not that easy. And I guess I can start kind of explaining the whole process that I went through with my wife now. because when we first met, she was, let me see, she was 22. 22.
Wow.
She's 6 years younger than me.
Wow.
Right? So I've experienced a lot more.
Right.
I've done a lot more. I've traveled a lot more. And as well as throughout the time that we've been together, she's been basically trying to find her career path.
Right.
I'm kind of already set on who I am and kind of growing and getting all these unique opportunities because I'm not a normal 9-to-5 guy. And I have been able to meet people and do these things and get sponsors by these guys and be filmed and do all of these like really like cool things, right?
Yeah.
And my wife is just like, you know, going to school, or she worked at a coffee shop for a little bit, worked at a little insurance company. And, you know, from her eyes looking at me, you know, I wouldn't say jealousy, but it's more of like a sense of like her wanting to be level with me, right?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Like she definitely wants to be level with me, and she has told me before that she has felt lesser just because of, not that I make her purposely feel that way, but just the way it plays out.
Right.
It makes her feel that way, right?
You know why? It's because you found your purpose.
Right. And she's still looking for it.
Well, it's not so much the fact that she's still looking for it.
And
she's still in that.
And here's the thing, and this is how I was able to work our way through that whole situation, was that I had to take the charge as a man, and I had to help my wife position herself, getting to position, while I was still preparing myself for the goal.
Right.
Right. And as a man, especially, I can't talk about the opposite direction,
Right.
but as a man, if you are to be in prep with a woman and that woman is still trying to find herself, or she is looking for some type of award, you have to lead the charge to help her find that reward, all while trying to prepare for your goal. And a lot of people think that because their goal is set, that their partner should respect that goal and they should only care about that goal, or they should do their own goals on their own. But as a man, you have to do your goals plus hers.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And then you also have to be able to understand where she's coming from, so that way you can be able to give her some form of solution. But at the same time is that you can't just let her do what she needs to do. You have to go in there and command your household or your relationship and let her understand on where you are actually at and how she needs to help you in order for you to get here. She may not have an immediate reaction, but once you actually have those type of conversations, which the conversations do have to be had, some people just don't have those conversations and they rather just butt heads.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just like, who the fuck are you to talk to me or tell me what to do, or like, why aren't you helping me?
Right.
Right now, nobody's here to help you, bro. You need to help yourself and understand that you're the only person that's going to help you through this process. Right. And you chose this process. So the only person that needs to be there for you is yourself. And I had to understand this because sometimes I would be pretty pissed off because I felt like my wife wasn't there for me. Right. Which wasn't the case. She was there for me, but not in the same way I as a man would be for her, because she is there for me as the woman that she needs to be. Right. So in the same sense, it's like I had to come to my own realization that I needed to be there for myself, but I also needed to be there for my wife in summary.
It's not an easy thing to summarize in many ways, because when you have these types of conversation, most especially socially now, most women or most people think that when we say things like that, we're taking away from the personal striving goal of our partner.
Right.
No, we're not.
Right.
We're actually trying to help you get to your goal sooner and faster and more efficiently, so that you feel less like you're not on my level, right? It's crazy because it's really important for people to understand. They don't see what you just explained.
And I think the reason why is because they don't understand they feel the way they feel, but you have to ask yourself why.
Right.
Why am I feeling like this? And what can I do to stop myself from feeling like this?
Yeah.
Because your emotions are going to be all over the place. You're lethargic, you're hungry, you're hangry, you're sore as fuck.
You're experiencing everything.
You're experiencing everything.
Mental and physical.
And your brain is foggy because you don't have that much carbs, much glycogen.
Yeah.
So you're running on E, literally running on E. So it's just like you have to be able to grasp yourself and talk to yourself and be like, okay, I feel like this, but why do I feel like this? And how can I stop myself from feeling like this? What do I need to do? Okay, but I don't want to do that. But if I do that, what's going to happen if I do it?
Right.
And then you have to weigh out the differences. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here, but I would love for you to figure out a way, one, to bring her on.
Yeah, for sure.
I think women in our industry need to see and hear that. It's really sad to me that the fitness industry has grown to a point where it's developed a lot of powerful, strong women. And I don't think it's developed them in the right way. I mean, not trying to be mean or anything. Like, be all the boss women you want to be. That's not the issue here. Like, I have a boss woman. She's great. She's amazing. But
still be a woman.
She's a woman. Right. She's very feminine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Very feminine. Absolutely amazing.
Gender roles is a real thing.
Absolutely. And that's, like I said to you earlier, is really important for people to understand, because we're in a sport, and I have to give my girl kudos, because you have to be confident to be with a man like me. Not that I'm boasting about myself in any way. No, that's not the point. The point is that we're around a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of good-looking women, in shape women that are seeking our advice. And to be consistent with how we treat one person to the next isn't as easy as it is. And also to have a partner who is confident enough to know that. You know what I mean? But I want to bring you back on. I want an episode 2 of this, because I think we just kind of like scratched the surface right now of some things, man.
We didn't even get into the real conversation.
We didn't even really. But that's the thing. That's the great thing about, that's the great thing about, guys. Like, you guys have to understand about me and the podcast. Everything's supernatural here. Everything episode that you guys have ever watched has been one take. It's supernatural. You weren't given a list of questions. I didn't even tell you what we're going to be talking about. I just asked you to come because I thought you were interesting and you had a story to tell and people need to hear it.
That was
Number one.
That was it.
That's it. That's the only reason why. So there's going to be more to come. But first and foremost, tell them your IG. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them how people can source you. If you have any plugs that you need to plug them. We're going to bring you back on for episode 2. And then after episode 2, because I think there's more that you and I need to talk still, we'll bring your wife on.
Okay.
You think this is cool?
Let's do.
Yeah, let's do that.
So 3.
Let's do 3.
Episodes. Okay. Say less.
So let's do that.
Come
man.
back for 3.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys can follow me at Antwan Ruckus Fit, all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever other social media platform that there is. Shout out to my sponsors, Iron Will. Shout out to Muscle Leg. Shout out to Jack Factory, which is a supplement company. Shout out to Against All Odds, which is my own merchandise. This is my T-shirt right here.
There we go. Where can we find those?
They will be sold very soon. So they're in production right now.
Okay, so then anywhere on your platforms will be able to have a link to purchase those things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sweet, hell yeah. Maybe the next episode, I'd be rocking one of those shirts. You know what I
bring
mean?
you one, bro.
Yeah, come on, brother.
Like
Not as big as that one, making like your baby brother's size. You know,
man, you could fit this shirt, man.
No, sir, not as good as you do. But thank you for coming, man. This is a long time coming, man. I know, it's crazy because we were 3-4 years now. We've
already had many podcasts, several.
Yeah, absolutely.
Several podcasts.
So I think that you taking the time, being excited to come, that really says a lot for me. As far as like thanking you to trusting me in bringing your story out.
Thanks for having me on.
But there's a lot more. I know there is. I know you. So, and also I want to pick your brain because there's some fitness things that people need to hear about. That class change too. The putting a weight limit in physique. Thank God, finally. It's crazy to me that you got a guy in physique, classic, bodybuilding, winning all three. Why have classes? Why have different categories?
Right.
What's the point?
Right. What
is the point?
None.
There's none. Just call it bodybuilding. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Done. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, follow us on YouTube, Cake Factory Training, IG, Cake Factory Training Facility. And leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment. If I said something you don't like, let me know, and I'll respond the next time we come back around. But you will see in episode 2 of Antwan, and then in episode 3 with his wife. And we're going to deep dive into his wife, too, because I'd love to hear her story as well. All right, guys, so thank you so much. Peace.